The book I'm going to be talking about is about obesity. Obesity is a disorder involving excessive body fat that increases risk of health problems. This is what the main character is going to be dealing with. The author states in this book that this book is about my body, about my hunger, and ultimately, this book is about my disappearing and being lost and wanting so much, wanting to be seen and understood. The title of this book is Hunger, a Memoir of My Body. The author is Roxane Gay, and this book is a memoir. The book takes place in America. It's no specific thing because she moves around a lot, and I will explain that soon. And it starts at the age of 12 and goes up to around where she's 20 because that's where the main problem happens. The main character of this book is Roxane Gay. Since she's obese, the most she's weighed is 577 pounds. She's African American and she has tattoos on her arms. She has dark brown or black hair. She's smart, creative, a storyteller. She can be rebellious at times. She's traumatized because of what happened to her. She's reckless. And she's a feminist. So when I read that she was a self-proclaimed feminist, I didn't know how to react to it because since this book was basically published in 2017, I didn't know whether she hated men or she actually cared about equality. So I didn't know how to take her opinions or anything that she said with a grain of salt. But reading the book, you will soon find out that she actually cares about equality and all that good stuff and don't hate men. So I didn't have to worry about that part, but some of her opinions I did have problems with, but I'll explain that when I talk about my opinion. So this book is basically about how Roxane became obese and what made her obese rather than her just liking food, even though there was a traumatic thing that happened to her that kind of caused her to go towards eating. And then she explains how she copes with it and how she deals with society messing with her and hating her because she's fat. But because I don't really know what time this is in, even though it was published in 2017. It could have been in some time where people just really hated fat people, but I don't know. How she coped with fat shaming and all that good stuff, and how she tries to lose weight and stop eating so much and stop being as big as she is or was. Her problem was basically coping with her problems. Her problem was that she was raped at the age of 12. So since that messed her up, she resorted towards eating because she thought, oh, if I eat more, men are gonna like me as much. And if men don't like me, they can't hurt me. And if men can't hurt me, I can't get raped again. So that was her mentality. That's why she's obese. And she hid this from her family ever since she was 12. And she didn't really say anything about it until she published the book, which kind of upset me because this was when she was grown. But I never been raped, so I don't know how hard it is to come out and say, hey, I was raped. But I'm assuming it was hard. So she didn't say anything about it until she was 12. She didn't say who did it in the book. She gives him this made up name so no one can actually look for him, so he can't get arrested, but whatever. And another problem is that she has to deal with fat shaming a lot and getting triggered by shows such as The Biggest Loser. I can understand why. The Biggest Loser isn't the best show, but they volunteer to be in that show. And then she talks about how they're victims. Yes, they do get made fun of and all that stuff, but they volunteered for that. They volunteered to be on that show. They volunteered to be on that show, so they're not really victims. Victims is people that can't help the situation. They put themselves in that mess because they wanted to win money and lose weight. And she also talks about how people don't need to lose weight and that she looks good the way she is. And it's society's fault that people feel better when they lose weight. But that's not the case at all. Society, that's just being healthy. She has a problem with this because I did have to stop reading the book for a while because she kept talking about this a lot in quite a few chapters. And the problem with it was she had a problem with other people losing weight, which confused me. Maybe I read the book in a weird way or in the wrong way, and that's not what she really meant. But how I interpret it, she was upset because other people was losing weight. And it's not even hard for her to lose weight. It really isn't. She lost weight like 3 times, but she just kept getting it back because she was afraid of being skinny again and that she might get raped again. But who knows? Whatever. But an example was Oprah, because if you haven't knew, Oprah was pretty big. She was pretty big woman. But then she started losing weight. And she was like, and then Oprah would say stuff like, losing weight is good for you and it's healthy and it makes you look beautiful. Which, if you like fat people, go ahead. That other people like. But she would get upset because Oprah, quote unquote, turned her back on fat people because she lost weight, and said that being healthy and eating healthy and being quite skinny is good for you. And so she made that seem like that was bad. And then she also talked about the show, what was it, My 600-Pound Life? It's either 600 or 500-pound life, whatever. But she would talk about how they were also fat shaming because they were saying that it's unhealthy to be that way, which it is. It doesn't. You can't just say that it's not healthy to be obese, but it really is. And then she started talking about obese shaming. I'll talk about that later. That's something that really just, I didn't know how to take that. During the whole time that I disagreed with her because of so much stuff, it was just, I was trying to be on her side because she's actually the victim, instead of like a feminist saying that, oh, I was raped, when they weren't even really raped. They were just like, a man just touched her shoulder. No, she was actually raped. So I was trying to sympathize with her and try to be open-minded with her thinking and her opinions. But I had to cross the line somewhere when it came to obese shaming or freaking, what's it called? Health insurance. I'll get into that. That just upset me altogether. But I'll get to that later. I totally forgot what I was talking about the problems. Okay. Yeah, but that's where she had to go. And in the beginning of the book, it'll really go in depth with that, because it was talking about how she weighed 577 pounds. She's super obese. In her words, not mine. And she had to go to the doctor because they had to give her surgery. But she changed her mind about the surgery, and she was like, I'll just exercise it off, which she could, but she did it multiple times. She lost weight. So the problem isn't being obese because of how easily she could lose weight. She just has fast metabolism, which allows her to, because if you read the book, she lost weight like 3 times and she gained it right back quite easily, just as easy as losing the weight. The problem, the biggest problem is her being raped by not by just like one person, just some random dude. It was by her crush that she had when in 12th grade. In middle school? No, I forgot. But not just her crush, but him and his friends. So that was just multiple people. This is when she was 12. She's traumatized, so she has to deal with being traumatized, hiding that she was raped from her family for a couple of years, for a good amount of years, and having to deal with being fat shamed by American society, because America is really bad, and oof, every other country is worse than America. Okay, now to get on to the quote-unquote exciting parts. By exciting parts, I meant the stuff that I really, really disagreed with. And going back into the video that I'm making right now, I was talking about health insurance, and in one of the a couple of the chapters, since the chapters are so short, she was talking about, I guess this will wrap in with my opinions too, exciting parts and opinions put together. There we go, because I'm gonna put my opinion on this because I really don't believe what she was talking about. But she was talking about how health insurance in America is more expensive for obese people when it shouldn't be. And I totally disagree with this because I'm not the skinniest person in the world. I'm pretty chunky myself, but I'm not obese. So I don't know her situation. I don't know how much health care costs for her. But since you have obesity, okay, I understand. Sometimes you can't control it. Your metabolism's too slow. But that's your responsibility to, since you know this, to eat stuff more cautiously than the normal metabolism. But the problem is, since you're obese, you have more risk of having heart disease, a heart attack, any problems with the heart, or just anything in general. Getting surgery, taking pills, getting the shots because you're obese. And last time I checked, medicine and surgery are very expensive. So because they're expensive and you have more chance of getting all those things, you should have to pay more. And I understand. She didn't really she had a choice. She got raped and she had to deal with the trauma in some way. And she chose food because food was made her feel good and it was easier. So she turned to food. But the problem is you have to choose. Do I wanna keep eating because I have a traumatic problem and I just wanna hide it, so I'm gonna eat food? Or do I wanna seek help and just stay healthy? You can't just be like, healthcare's too high in America, especially for obese people. It's not like I'm saying, oh, she was raped, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. But all I'm saying is, you can't say obesity it shouldn't be more costly for insurance than it is for a healthy individual. That's like saying Jonathan over there weighs 150 pounds and he's perfectly good. He's very healthy. So his insurance isn't that high. But Tom over there weighs 600 pounds and he has to pay more. Their insurance shouldn't be the same amount because they both have different needs. Everyone have different needs. And since people have different needs, they shouldn't have to pay the same amount. They should have to pay a different amount because they have different issues with their body. Another problem was, once again, going back into the video, obese shaming. I did not know what that was when I first read it. When I first read it, I had to read the chapter all over again because I didn't understand what she meant by obese shaming. I never heard about it. I heard about fat shaming, skinny shaming, all that good kinds of shaming. But when it came to obese shaming, I was like, what would you define as obese shaming? I would assume it would be if like a person's like, ha ha ha, you're obese. That's what you get. But it's like, I don't know what she meant by it, because when it came to people telling her that it's not healthy the way she is, she would say that's just society putting her down, when it's just people telling her, hey, you can die this way. You should eat more healthy, you know? But I don't know what that meant to her. I don't know what that means. So I didn't know how to take it. I'm like, I didn't want to say, because there's all types of shaming. Every shaming is a real thing. I just never heard of obese shaming. So that was something new for me. The more you know. And back to the health insurance though. It's just, there's so many. You should be lucky to even have insurance for your health. Because there's a lot of countries and other places that are too poor for that type of stuff. Like Chad or Afghanistan, you know? So they might not have enough money for that health insurance. You should be at least happy that you got insurance. Expensive insurance is better than no insurance, in my opinion at least. Should you read this book? If you really feel like reading it, it's 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 a big book. It's around 300 pages, but it feels very short because each chapter is like one page. Not even lying. The most pages in a chapter that I read was at least four pages. I think 7. So it's not like time consuming. You can get by it pretty fast. Well, at least in my opinion. The shorter the chapters, the faster I read the book. If you want to hear different opinions about different stuff, this is totally the book for you. You know, because she says some things that I don't agree with, but there's other things that I could understand. So, take that opinion as how you want it to. Once again, I understand. No, I don't. I don't understand what she's going through because, you know, I never been raped. But, like, I don't, that's the problem. I don't know what she's going through. So, I don't know how her brain is set at this point once you get traumatized at the age of 12. So, I don't know how her idea was going or whatever. I didn't know how that was, how she was dealing with her life at that point. Because she was doing some pretty intense stuff when she turned 24 because she wanted to be rebellious. That's why she got tattoos, actually. And she wanted to be rebellious and stuff. I don't know why. It's because she was traumatized. Or at least that's what she said in the book, which is completely understandable. Because, you know, if you get messed up at the age of 12, then, like, you don't want to, your brain tells you not to do some things. And at one point, she even, oof. I said I was done with the exciting part. But, well, this is more of I guess is the exciting part. There was a point where her parents were paying for her college. Non-wealthy, but decent living parents that they were. They paid for her college. And as she was going to college, you know, she was already having issues with herself. She didn't know what she wanted to do with her life. So, you know what she does? She leaves college and goes to a different state. I don't remember which state, but she went to a different state altogether while her family was still paying for college. And that personally upset me because I'm like, how dare you just leave your family just sitting there paying for your college, which is a lot of money because it's not like she was going to like a community college or something. This was like a pretty big college, and you just leave your family like that paying for everything. But, you know, they found her after she was done being, what do you call it? She was working for hotlines, and that was also strange. But it was a point in time where she was just, I guess, living her life to the fullest at that point, because she was dating a dude. She finally started dating guys, but she also started dating girls, which I'm assuming she's bi at this point. Because she was talking about how she was gay, but then she started dating dudes. So I'm gonna just call her bi. She's bi. So that happened. She decided she wanted to become a teacher. So she left her boyfriend because her boyfriend didn't want to leave his home so she could pursue her dream. Because they met just like a couple. Actually, they met a couple years because when she left for college, she went to go stay with him, this random dude, for so long. And I'm just like, whatever. That's my personal opinion, you know. I personally wouldn't do that, but then again, I don't know what she had to go with. I don't know her mentality that well. I only know what she put in the book. So, that was pretty cool, I guess. So once again, if you like opinions or want to hear her opinions on certain things about, she doesn't talk about misogynism or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called, but if you want to hear, she doesn't really talk about that type of stuff. But when she talks about it, well, I understand how she feels. Well, this is the thing I understand. I understand how she feels about men because since she was raped at 12, she doesn't really like men, which is understandable. She was 12 years old. A male did something bad to her. I don't know how, yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that. And she doesn't really, she is a feminist, so I don't know how feminism really truly works, because I am a feminist, but not like, you know, the man hating type. I'm very understandable when it comes, but this isn't about me. And she talks about what women has to go through, but she doesn't really talk about what men have to go through. She kind of just, she does sort of paint them like evil people. She even says it in a book, in her book, in one of the chapters, that men just cause harm and stuff like that, which I understand because she was raped by a male, but you can't really just put everyone together and just say that they're all bad. That's the equivalent of saying all black people steal stuff, or all Mexicans are illegal. That's not good. Don't do that. But she kind of does. She does it. I understand low key why she thinks that way. Should she do it? No, no one should do that. That's bad. But I understand why she does it.